All right, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily. My name's Austin. The cryptocurrency market continues to drain lower, especially altcoins, as BTC dominance continues to climb higher. And while eventually a bounce will happen, bounces happen in bear markets just as much as bull markets, while eventually a bounce will happen based on the macroeconomic landscape, over these next few months, I would expect this trend to continue. In today's video, I want to keep you updated on the latest news involving Bitcoin, involving Ethereum, involving Solana, as well as lower cap altcoins, and much more. So, like always, check the timestamps down below, smush that like button, and let's jump in, starting with Bitcoin, and billionaire Bill Miller doubling down, calling Bitcoin insurance against financial catastrophe. And just as a reminder, Bill Miller made his billions by investing wisely, and he is heavily respected in the traditional world. So when he talks, people usually listen, and he's not backing down on his long-term bullishness of Bitcoin. I do want to play you a clip, but first off, in a direct quote, an example he gives just one of many reasons on why Bitcoin is valuable. When the US pulled out of Afghanistan, Western Union stopped sending remittances there or taking them from Afghanistan. But if you had Bitcoin, you were fine. Your Bitcoin is there. You can send it to anybody in the world if you have a phone. So that's why Bitcoin is better from a monetary point of view, but what about a store of value point of view? Let me play you this quick 60-second clip of Bill Miller explaining why Bitcoin is better than gold from a supply and a demand point of view. Watch this.
So that's my key to Bitcoin is that it's the only economic entity in the world, certainly monetary, but it's just called an economic entity in the world, that the supply is unaffected by the demand. So, if gold, what's gold, $1,800 today, something like that. If gold was $18,000 instead of $1,800, there'd be a lot more gold mined. So gold that was uneconomic to mine today would become economic. And Charlie Munger has said, I think at the Berkshire meeting, that he expects that any fiat currency in 100 years will be worth zero compared to what it's worth today. That's because they keep creating more of it. And with Bitcoin, there's the supply this year will grow about 1.7%, maybe. And so the only question you have to ask about Bitcoin is, over the long term, will the demand exceed, in essence, 1.7, then 1.5%, then all the way down to, zero? And I think it's going to grow. Demand's going to grow faster than that.
And that's true. When people want more gold out of the earth, they can just mine more gold. With Bitcoin, no matter how many miners hop in or hop out of the network, the block reward does not change. You can't mine double the Bitcoin this month that you did last month. The Bitcoin protocol just keeps on ticking, keeps on producing, no matter what the people do. And next up, let's talk about altcoins. And again, check the timestamps down below. Find the news that's best for you. First up, Solana's blockchain clock loses track of time. It's now running 30 minutes behind. So, in other words, what does this mean? Well, slower slot times have caused the clock to drift, meaning the on-chain time is now behind the real-world time. While this issue does not affect network operations, it could contribute to reduced earnings from staking rewards. So the Solana stakers are really the ones being punished in all of this, and I want to reiterate, according to the notice, this issue does not impact any network performance. Transactions on the network will, however, show timestamps that are different from the wall clock time. So I'm not going to bore you with the technical aspect of this, but again, how this affects you is because Solana's staking rewards are paid on each epoch, and because now there's fewer epochs because of the sluggishness, this will mean a reduction in the earnings collected by delegators and validators on the network. Now, I fully expect them to get this fixed. Solana's been down a lot worse in the past 6 months. But this is just a bummer because if you were staking on the Solana blockchain and now you're getting less rewards and you did nothing wrong, would this encourage you to say, hey, maybe I'll stake Cardano or Polkadot or Big Daddy ETH? Next up, Binance becomes the first major crypto exchange to gain regulatory approval in Italy. And by the way, not but just 2 weeks ago, they did the same thing in France as well. And by the way, we should mention this too. Binance to advise on crypto strategy as Kazakhstan looks to boost their industry. Now, Kazakhstan is already known as a Bitcoin mining hub, but they're now trying to attract more crypto firms and broaden the industry. So Binance is now an advisor, and in terms of what does that entail? Well, Binance will help Kazakhstan develop their digital asset regulation, help write the regulation, as well as they'll also try to integrate banking infrastructure within the cryptocurrency market and help the country's blockchain strategy. So, this is very interesting. Kazakhstan is already one of the world's biggest Bitcoin mining hubs, relatively speaking to the size of their country, and now they want to be a much bigger crypto hub. Next piece of news for Ethereum. Ethereum liquidations top 157 million after their merge upgrade test hits a snag. So following the Beacon Chain's block reorg event, and the Beacon Chain is basically ETH2, after that, Ethereum dropped over 7% on Friday morning amid concerns around its planned merge. So a lot to unpack there. Do not be worried. Let me explain. And just first, over the last 7 days, Ethereum shed more than 16% of its value, tumbling from over $2,000 on Monday to as low as $1,731 in the early hours on Friday. This drastic price shift also led to over $157 million in ETH liquidations. More than 75% of these liquidations were long positions being liquidated from bullish crypto traders. So traders were bullish on ETH, and they got punished. They got liquidated as the whole market came down. Anyway, the news today is this, which is actually a few days ago. The Beacon Chain, a sort of ghost version of ETH running in parallel to the current Ethereum, experienced a block reorg, and such an event means that for a brief moment, the Beacon Chain had been forked, and blocks of transactions were being processed on yet another parallel version of the Beacon Chain. Basically a 51% attack that happened Wednesday, the price dipped, and then longs got liquidated. Honestly, I'm not too worried. This test period is when you want to find issues. That's how the developers can make it better. And next quick piece of news for Filecoin, Lockheed Martin and the Filecoin Foundation to explore hosting blockchain nodes in space. And again, Lockheed Martin is a defense contractor, and Filecoin Foundation, obviously behind Filecoin, they're putting nodes in space. Now, how do they plan to do this? Well, Lockheed and Filecoin plan to identify a satellite or identify other spacefaring platforms that can hold the technology to operate an interplanetary file system node, IPFS node, identify that platform's needs, and then try to identify a test mission. So if you hold Filecoin, just know they're only exploring this at this point, but they do plan to identify a test mission by August of this year. Next piece of news for Stepn. Stepn to block mainland China users to comply with regulatory policies. And just as a reminder, Stepn is a popular exercise to earn, move to earn game based on Solana and BNB that was created by 2 Chinese immigrants now living in Australia. So I assume they did have high hopes in getting the Chinese user base on their app. Well, now just as preemptive caution to try and be regulatory compliant, on July 15th, Stepn will clear all accounts based in mainland China for local compliance reasons. And before them, the platform does advise users who plan to reside in mainland China long-term to sell their assets on the platform if possible. Obviously, the price dipped on this news. The whole crypto market dipped this week. But after the news was announced, Jerry, the firm's founder, did note that mainland Chinese users only make up about 5% of the platform's overall user base, implying that the company's exit from this market will not have a significant impact on its financial success. According to Stepn's official Twitter, daily active users increased to more than 500,000 in May, up from 300,000 users in April. So interesting to see the growing pains. I'll keep you updated. Next piece of news for Terra/Terra 2. The new Terra blockchain launch is expected this Saturday with the Luna airdrop to follow. And just to get ultra specific, here was that direct announcement from Twitter, from Terra. Yesterday, we said Terra 2.0 is coming. Well, tomorrow, Saturday, it arrives. The community has been working around the clock to coordinate the new chain's launch. Subject to potential change, we expect Terra to go live on May 28th, 2022. Now, the big question is, because Terra Luna is technically a dApp platform, like Ethereum, like Cardano, etc., a dApp platform, which chain are the dApps going to choose? Popular applications from the current chain, which will continue as Terra Classic after the launch of Terra 2.0, are expected to migrate to the new chain. So we will see. The winner will obviously be where the dApps go, where the developers go. Next, quick piece of news for Impostors. And again, Impostors is a play-to-earn social deduction metaverse built in Unreal Engine and powered by NFTs, so a play-to-earn game at its most simple layer. And their materials box minting is now live. So they already launched their Impostors, then their UFOs, then their pets. And now their material boxes are live, furthering the growth of the ecosystem. And this is just a visual of somebody's collection of, they got the Impostors, then the UFOs, then the pets, now the boxes, in preparation for the game, hopefully by the end of this year. And next up, last but not least, if you'll be in the Austin, Texas area, June 7th to June 8th, Aaron and I will be speaking. Come check us out. And there's a link down below. Use promo code Altcoin Daily 22 for a 30% discount on your ticket. So if you'll be in the area, come hang out. All right, that is the video. My name's Austin. Like always, see you tomorrow.